Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is February 19th of 2026. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland has greenlit the termination of a sitting U.S. president for the date of February 20th of 2026, specifically to trigger a second American Civil War. So, exactly how the CIA plans to neutralize a sitting U.S. president who is duly elected by an overwhelming majority of the population is obviously not known, but it appears that the CIA is going to employ a three-pronged approach to removing U.S. President Donald J. Trump from power on the date of February 20th, under the guise of something related to the Epstein files. So we can expect Donald J. Trump to be arrested on the date of February 20th of 2026 for high crimes and misdemeanors related to sex crimes regarding Jeffrey Epstein and his sex trafficking ring. Coincidentally, today, February 19th of 2026, the CIA staged the arrest of Prince Andrew in England for links to Jeffrey Epstein. So this is specifically designed to foreshadow and set the precedent for the arrest of a sitting U.S. president for sex-related crimes related to Jeffrey Epstein. This is the first time in 400 years today that a member of the royal family has been arrested. So the notion that a sitting U.S. president would be arrested is also I don't think it's ever happened. I could be wrong, but I believe the last time I checked, there was somebody, I think it was Rutherford B. Hayes, got a speeding ticket when he was drunk in Washington, D.C., and he was arrested, but I believe it's never happened before in the last 100 years. So it would obviously be earth-shaking news regarding the arrest of Donald J. Trump on the date of February 20th. The secondary option to remove Trump from power on the date of February 20th is an impeachment by the U.S. House and or Senate. This is likely going to be orchestrated by Chief Justice John Roberts of the United States Supreme Court, and this will likely be a secret vote. And they will likely claim that Trump, at the bare minimum, was guilty of violating 18 U.S. Code number 4, which is a misprision of felony. Basically, if you know about a felony being committed and you fail to inform the proper authorities about that, you are in fact guilty of a felony. And so it's 18 U.S. Code 4, misprision of felony. And this is likely what they're going to impeach him on, for having knowledge about the crimes that Jeffrey Epstein was committing but failing to act while as a sitting U.S. president for 4 years. The third option is basically the plan to suicide U.S. President Donald J. Trump under the guise of mounting pressure regarding the Epstein files. And this will likely come with the release of the fifth trove of Epstein files that are currently being held back by the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. So, in the aftermath of Trump being arrested, impeached, or suicided, the CIA plans to release the fifth trove of Epstein files, which is going to predictably, and I'm going to state here on the record here on February 19th, it's predictably going to be consist of deep fake videos of Donald J. Trump engaging in sex-related crimes with underage females. It's going to contain artificial intelligence generated audio tape and videotape of Donald J. Trump participating in and or witnessing the sex crimes being committed upon underage females. And it's also going to contain numerous photoshopped photos and or art depictions that are of Trump either participating in or engaging in sex with minors. They're also going to bolster this trove of newfound evidence regarding Donald J. Trump with a plethora of emails between Donald J. Trump and Jeffrey Epstein that basically confirm the fraudulent notion that Trump had been engaging in sex with minors for the last 10, 15 years, or ever since Donald J. Trump allegedly cut off contact with Jeffrey Epstein after accosting one of his employees at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida, roughly 20 years ago. So they are going to craft this. This is what this whole trove of evidence is coming out for, is to basically, along with the real photos and videos of these people committing crimes, they're going to place in there an overwhelming amount of evidence against Donald J. Trump to remove him from power. That is what this thing has been about. I've been making videos about this for years. That Epstein is a coup. It's a coup d'etat to overthrow the Trump regime and to remove him from power. And then in the aftermath of him being arrested, impeached, or suicided, or suffering some sort of health-related emergency, they will disseminate all this propaganda and all these videos and all these photos and pieces of art and email into the public sphere, just as they've done over the last few weeks, and in order to basically whitewash the fact that a foreign nation of Switzerland has essentially, and Israel, working in tandem, have essentially assassinated a U.S. president in a de facto manner. And I can prove this numerically through the amount of key dates in the Epstein file. For example, the date of February 20th marks exactly 5 days since the fourth trove of Epstein files was released by the Department of Justice back on Valentine's Day, February 14th of 2026. In the event of a secondary Jeffrey Epstein-related event involving the Department of Justice on the date of February 20th, it would mark 2 such events in 6 days. The number 26 equates to the letter Z, which is an acronym for Zionism, and that is the political motivation behind this impending neutralization of U.S. President Donald J. Trump. Secondly, the date of February 20th, 2026 marks exactly 21 days since the third trove of Epstein files was released back on January 30th of 2026. The number 21 is 3 sevens, and the number 777 is found in the tetragram of Yahweh, which is the highest God in Judaism. And so we have the first Jewish state of Switzerland and the third Jewish state of Israel working in hand to basically assassinate a U.S. president with what is essentially a fabricated sex ring narrative. Also, the date of February 20th marks exactly 63 days since the DOJ released the redacted version of the Epstein files. So what the CIA has been doing is instructing the Department of Justice to release these emails, these photos, but they have large black boxes over certain words, over certain faces. And so what they plan to do is all this public information that's already out there from the last 4 troves of Epstein's files, they plan to take away the black boxes. And then beneath them, they have photoshopped and deepfake videos and AI-generated videos which will have the depiction of Donald J. Trump on them. Also, the date of February 20th marks exactly 281 days since former FBI Director James Comey released this ominous tweet on Twitter with the number 8647 written in seashells by the seashore. And of course, Donald J. Trump is president number 47, and 86 means to throw out, to essentially to kill. And so 281 days, this has the numerology of Switzerland. Number 81 is the National Day of Switzerland. This is August 1st, their July 4th, their Independence Day, if you will. And so this is the hand of Switzerland that is basically removing a sitting U.S. president via a fraudulent scandal. And the fact that former FBI Director James Comey, who was indicted by the Department of Justice under this Trump administration, he has a major axe to grind with the Trump administration, and he is as corrupt as they come. And so he will likely be one of the people that is going to be present for this impending arrest of Trump or suicide assassination, and he may be, in fact, the chosen assassin or have something to do with the orchestration thereof of this impending. Because what I need to state for the record here is that if Trump is arrested on February 20th for alleged links to Epstein, whatever the crimes may be, He will never see the inside of a courtroom. He will be assassinated either under the guise of a self-inflicted suicide or some sort of medical related event, but he will never ever stand trial for this because he will deny this to the grave, and he will be able to bring in witnesses, namely the previous testimony of Virginia Giuffre, who was coincidentally suicided herself, where she said that Donald J. Trump never touched her, never had anything to do with her. Also, the date of February 20th marks exactly 396 days since Donald J. Trump became President of the United States. This is exactly 13 months. So if the CIA removes Trump on the date of February 20th, it would be Trump being elected and Trump being removed from office in 2 events in 14 months. And of course, the number 214, this has the 24 equates to the letter X, which is the international symbol of death, because this is the death of the Trump presidency. And then if you take the letter X and you put the number 1 in the middle, it forms the Jewish Star of David, because this is Switzerland and Israel and their blackmail ring working in tandem to remove a sitting U.S. president on the date of February 20th of 2026. Also, coincidentally, the date of February 20th of 2026 marks exactly 1,070 days since Donald J. Trump publicly stated that he would be arrested back on March 18th of 2023. Of course, the number 1070 is the number 17, which equates to the letter Q as in coup d'etat, because this is an overthrow. This is a coup d'etat being leveled against the Trump administration to overthrow a duly elected president of the United States by a foreign nation, namely Israel and Switzerland. And last but not least, the date of February 20th, 2026 marks exactly 29,106 days since Donald J. Trump was born in Queens, New York, back on June 14th of 1946. So we have the 29106. So firstly, we have the number 16106 or 16, which is found in the CI, the logo of the CI, which contains a 16-pointed star. Secondly, we have the number 26, which equates to the letter Z in the English alphabet, which is an acronym for Zionism, which is the political motivation behind this impending neutralization of a sitting U.S. president. Coincidentally, the first Jewish state of Switzerland held the first Zionist conference at the Three Kings Hotel in Basel, Switzerland in the late 1800s. And of course, today, Switzerland has birthed the state of Israel, which is now the tip of the spear of Zionism. And they are the ones that are running the Epstein blackmail ring, and they plan to neutralize U.S. President Donald J. Trump with this concoction, with this epic Epstein hoax. So anyway, just to recap, CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to use their Israeli Mossad and their blackmail ring of Jeffrey Epstein to neutralize U.S. President Donald J. Trump on the date of February 20th of 2026, most likely via arrest for high crimes and misdemeanors, his impeachment for a misprision felony, or his suicide. But they will use this to remove Donald J. Trump on February 20th. And obviously that cannot be allowed to happen. So if the CIA stages any sort of removal of Donald J. Trump from office on the date of February 20th of 2026, I kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.